welcome to Good Medicine. Today we have Nancy Gardner. Nancy Gardner is all about movement, and she loves to move, her body and her mind. From martial arts to massage, from polarity therapy to Qigong, Nancy has a passion for learning, teaching, and sharing. A state-licensed massage therapist, applied polarity practitioner, and certified Tai Chi and Qigong instructor, Nancy draws on these and other disciplines to create experiential, health-enhancing programs for various groups and organizations. She has presented locally, regionally, and internationally to diverse audiences, legal and accounting firms, the medical community, schools, nonprofits, and major corporations. Through her seminars, retreats, and ongoing Tai Chi and stretch, de-stress classes, Nancy's mission is to empower individuals to be as healthy as they can be and find balance among the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life. So welcome to
Hi.
Good Medicine.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
So, we just came off of National Tai Chi Day, which the city of Akron recognized. And I thought, what an interesting thing that is.
Yes.
We wouldn't have seen that 15 or 20 years ago. And I really look at that as kind of an integration between what's Eastern philosophy, thought, movement, medicine, if you will, and a more traditional Western philosophy.
Yes.
So I thought that was just the coolest thing ever, and I went, and it was a great time.
It was.
So explain to those of us who don't know, and I didn't know really what Tai Chi was a few years ago, what it is, the philosophy, and we'll just kind of go from there, and we'll kind of
Great.
talk about it.
I'd love to.
I know you would. It's
I
what
do
you
love
do.
this. Yes, it is what I do. It actually was a worldwide event, this World Tai Chi and Qigong Day.
So
And
as we were doing it, everyone in the world was doing it.
yes, at 10
which is
o'clock
amazing.
local time around
Okay.
the world. So what I love is just this visual of 10 o'clock around the globe, this movement of, you know,
It was
this
very
beautiful,
beautiful.
moving, healing movement. So it's always the last Saturday of April every year. And like I said,
Okay,
it
so
is
we'll
a
have to
worldwide
remember that.
event.
And this was the first annual in this area.
Yes, I had a
Okay.
small one last year in Fairlawn, and
Oh,
this year I
okay.
wanted to grow it.
And you did.
I was thrilled that the city of Akron co-sponsored it
Mm-hmm.
with me, and we used Lock 3, and this may become the first annual at Lock 3.
Which would be
and
great.
what a great kickoff to Lock 3's, you know, events too.
Right.
You know, a free community program for personal and global healing. I mean, how awesome is that?
That's awesome.
So to kind of explain what this is, defining a couple terms would be real helpful.
That would be very helpful,
Okay.
yes.
So we start with Qigong, which is most often spelled Q-I-G-O-N-G. Qi is our life energy. It's that animating force that allows all of our systems to work. Gong means work. So what we're doing is we're learning how to work with our life energy, to cultivate it, to send it through our body, to
have
build-
more of it.
To have
We
more
would
of it. I
like
mean,
to
how
have
many
more
of
of
us
it.
could use a little bit more energy?
Right, when you asked that, how many of us would need more energy? Every hand went
Yes,
up. Yes,
exactly. And also de-stressing and learning how to send that energy to areas that we need.
Because stress is energy, right? I mean, when
Absolutely.
you're stressed out, I mean, I feel like I'm using my energy for worry and maybe extraneous movements and just
Definitely.
that whole being in
Right.
stress. So that is a use of energy that perhaps isn't the best use
Exactly.
of one's
It's
energy.
contractive and impedes
Yeah,
the
it
flow.
feels like it anyway,
impedes the
yeah,
flow.
okay.
So Qigong is working with this life energy. It comes to us from the Chinese, and it is an ancient healing art and science that works with this life energy to benefit body, mind, and spirit.
So that's kind of their whole wellness is about
Right.
that for
much more holistic of a perspective. So we're working with this life energy for multiple benefits, for de-stressing and re-energizing. It works with healing techniques. Qigong includes healing techniques, meditation, and various exercises.
Okay, of which Tai Chi is.
Exactly.
Okay, so Tai Chi is part of a bigger picture.
Correct.
It's really part of a kind of a culture's philosophy on wellness.
Correct.
Okay.
So Qigong is this art and science, this healing art and science, and then underneath Qigong, Tai Chi is one form of Qigong.
Okay.
Okay, so Tai Chi, literally, the full name is Tai Chi Chuan, which really means Supreme Ultimate Boxing. And so
Boxing,
in the
like boxing in
Right.
America. Okay.
That's the word we would translate, but it's not like this kind of boxing.
So they don't have that
means
word.
fist.
Okay.
Chuan means fist.
Oh, interesting.
So Tai Chi actually is a martial art, It's a martial art that combines Qigong.
But to me, it seems so different than a martial art. When I think of martial arts, I think of more stiff, punching, kind of forceful,
Right.
like
That's why
sending out energy movement kind
Qigong
of.
is considered an internal art because we build from the inside out. We focus on core strength training, more an interval training, as opposed to like, in our country, like an aerobics.
Right.
But it absolutely has benefits to cardiorespiratory, preventing falls and frailty in older persons. I mean, numerous decreasing blood pressure. I mean, numerous advantages that now here in the West we have documented studies that show all of the benefits of this. Now the Chinese have known it for hundreds of years, and we're just starting to incorporate that.
Right, and it was part of their just overall wellness.
Exactly.
And they don't have, it seems like a lot of high blood pressure and kind of stress-related
Correct.
diseases that we have.
Correct.
And I was watching a TV show, a cooking show actually, and they were doing foods from China. And as the camera was panning out, you could just see parks and various areas. People were just out doing Tai Chi, as if it was the most normal thing in the world. You go out at lunch, you go in the park, and you do some Tai Chi.
Exactly. So Tai Chi or Qigong you could have been seeing. Some Qigong is just standing postures. Some Qigong is a movement type of thing, similar to Tai Chi. So yeah, they both are part of complementary and alternative medicine here in this country. So it can be used in conjunction with our Western modalities, or what we would understand as conventional medicine. So there's some basic differences between Eastern medicine and Western medicine. Okay? Eastern medicine takes into account this qi, this life energy that flows through our bodies. And it says that, like a garden hose, if it's bent here, my qi, my life energy, is not flowing. And here, where it's coming from, has too much energy, here has not enough. So Tai Chi, Qigong, healing arts of Eastern medicine says, let's unblock those energy blockages so that the energy can flow. And it flows in these meridians that relate back to different internal organs, but not directly like we would think with a Western mind.
Right.
But there's a lung meridian, large intestine meridian,
kind of like
spleen
acupuncture,
meridian.
and
Exactly.
which is all part of that modality of healing.
The points are found along those energy meridians. So we have this energy that flows through these meridians. If we can help the energy flow, the body knows how to be well. So Eastern medicine asks, what causes health? Western medicine asks, what causes disease? So Eastern medicine is all about prevention and health maintenance, where Western medicine wants to fix things that aren't working right. And how awesome, from my perspective, that we can have a blending of both.
And mine as well, being in the
Absolutely.
traditional, I work as a pharmacist all day, and I do think that's interesting, that just to take a step back and see what is our perspective. So if you are actively engaged in a pretty, out of control kind of disease, and we have so many, diabetes, blood pressure problems, heart disease, we need a perspective on how to fix that disease, what causes it, so we can fix it. But at the same time, can we also look over here and say, well, what would maintain wealth and kind of help the process along? I mean, I think about that all the time, especially after I went to the World Tai Chi Day, and I'm thinking about how that would be really cool if in America, what we do at lunch, maybe we run to fast food, or maybe we eat at our computer, right? And because we're on the phone and all that, maybe we should meet in the park and do some Tai Chi. So I think this is a good time that you show us a little bit of Tai Chi. I'll do it with you, and I don't have a whole lot of experience, so let's see how easy it is.
I think that's great.
Let's look at it that way.
A good idea. So as with any exercise program, it's really important to warm up. The difference between the warm-ups that I'm going to show you is they're not just to open up the muscles and the bones and
how we would
get circulation going.
How we would typically think of a warm-up. You
Which is
warm up
part
your
of it.
muscles.
Part of it is what we're doing. The other part of it is even our warm-ups help contribute to our health by stimulating different internal organs.
So there's no wasted energy here.
Exactly.
Even when we're warming up, we're contributing to our health. Okay.
So we take our feet apart. They're a little wider than our shoulders. It's called a horse stance in the martial arts. We bend the knees, back nice and straight, shoulders nice and loose. This first one, we turn from the waist, and we let the arms just flop, ragdoll loose. So if you saw yourself in a mirror, you'd see some of your back and the back of your shoulder as you get a little bit looser.
Head stays forward?
Head stays forward.
So the focus is kind of just
correct.
Watching your mic pack in the back.
Yeah, that's it.
And just swinging around.
Exactly. Now, at first, when people are new to it, I do have them turn their heads. So that gets the idea of loosening up the whole spine and then
we
later
don't move
it's
this way
way.
typically.
No.
There's really nothing
And
that...
wait till you see the next couple. So this
Okay.
one, we're stimulating the kidneys in the back.
Okay.
Then we open the arms. How often are we like this? We're so much at our computers, our desks,
That's
we're
a good
driving,
point. I
we're
mean, right
hunched
now I just
over.
feel like, my gosh, my shoulders are just loving this.
So we touch by the neck and ribs, and then palms up, other one on top, palms
This
up.
feels so good.
It does.
It's just
It
because I guess
does.
because we don't
Yep.
do this.
Yes, exactly. And the body wants to.
I was just going to say.
It wants
And the
to.
body wants to move.
Yes. It was designed to move.
Right.
So this one stimulates our liver on the right side, stomach on the left. And then similarly, we go down to the shoulders and palms up in between. So kind of reaching around
So
your
just kind
back.
of like giving ourselves a
Throw
big
those
hug.
arms open. Yeah. Yep. Pat yourself on the back. And this one helps our heart. So these moves are kind of like massaging the internal organs. It's this squeeze and open,
It is, 'cause you're kind
squeeze
of-
and open.
Again, not
Correct.
thinking of it, just no one thinks about that, you know, like warming up your internal organs.
The last one, we want the arm to go up the back the best we can. So instead of low over the kidneys, we try to go up a little bit. And again, we still turn from the waist, arms very loose. And this one helps our lungs. So we're stimulating the
You are
lungs
so much
with
looser
this.
than me.
I've got about 25 years
Yeah,
on
right?
you. Okay. Good. And then in the middle is nice and loose. Of course, there's lots that we do, but just for a moment, just a little bit of side-to-side movement and stretching the inner leg muscles, and eventually, you know, as you get a little
Very
bit more
flexible.
going down.
And that's another, you
It's
know
all
what's
good.
interesting about flexibility too? There's not a big focus on flexibility as part of fitness.
Correct.
I mean, they talk about stretching
More
and
so.
warming up, but unless, well, like yoga, that would be something that's very
Right.
focused on flexibility.
For sure.
It's important. It's
Yes.
an important part of fitness.
Absolutely. So a simple Qigong exercise, very simple exercise called circling the arms, is one that we also incorporate as part of our warm-ups. So our hands crossed just below the navel. We ideally, let's talk about breathing for a moment, breathing through the nose,
Right.
tongue lightly resting on the roof of the mouth. So if you were to swallow and just let your tongue stop where it naturally does, that's the right place to be. And later, remind me, we can talk a little bit more about breathing, how important that is. So the hands crossed.
Big part breathing. Okay.
We breathe in, reach, stretch, lift, and lengthen, and then past the shoulders, breathe out. Hands cross, we reverse, breathe in, really lengthen, and breathe out. This would be at our own pace, so if you could breathe slower, you'd move slower. If you needed to breathe a little faster, you'd move a little bit faster.
So that's fine. The class could be moving at
Exactly.
synchronicity in this part is not that important.
Exactly.
We're
And
just
that
kinda
is
breathing.
actually the whole key of all of Tai Chi. We do follow our breath with our movements. So every one of us
people
could
have
be
different
going a
paces.
different pace. Absolutely.
And that's fine. That's fine with you. You don't get all stressed out about that.
Heavens, no.
In class.
I encourage that.
Oh.
I encourage that.
Oh, lovely.
Individuality.
Yes.
Yes. Good. And one thing we do is sometimes we go up on the toes and starts working on a little bit of balance. So obviously there's a whole lot more that we would do in a normal
That's just
class.
kind of the basic
Right.
breathing.
Yes. So that's a simple exercise anybody can incorporate. And the beauty
You
of
could. I could get up in the middle of my workday and
Yes.
breathe like that.
Right. And the beauty of that is whether you're just like, oh man, I'm just so stressed. You do that exercise and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay.
You just relax.
And it's,
It does feel
on the
relaxing.
flip side, you could be like, oh, I can't get through my afternoon. And you do that and you have reoxygenated, you've stretched your body, and all of a sudden you're thinking more clearly
Right.
and
Well,
being
you
much
breathe.
more productive.
You breathe in a different way
Exactly.
when you're doing that.
Exactly.
Well, consciously too. You're aware.
So, want to do a few moves of Tai Chi?
Okay.
All right.
Now
So,
it gets tricky.
here we go. So the body's nice and relaxed. First, we step straight across to the left, and then we lift our arms, and then bend your elbows, bend your knees, sink. We turn from the waist, make a ball on the left, keep the knees bent, and then the right hand comes across your face. We open the right foot, put all the weight on the right, and bring the left one over,
And you don't
we
care
make
if
a
people fall
ball.
over. It's all very good.
Absolutely not. We step out with the heel, the foot goes flat, the hands almost touch, the weight shifts forward. It's called parting the wild horse's mane.
I like this one.
Uh-huh. Then we open the front foot, step up, make a new ball, and then we step to the right this time. We'll just do a little sequence here. Palms touch, push, reach up, pull down, press, split, roll back, uproot.
That's very, again, so seems so different than a martial art because it's so fluid.
Right. So let me show you what that is all about.
Okay.
Okay. So that very first move, open, lift, sink. How that would be used if somebody had a hold of my wrists and I go like that, you do that, right?
Yeah, naturally.
And so I do this and I'm out of there. That's why Tai Chi is called an internal art, where
Because part of martial arts is always about
yielding,
defense, and
right?
deflecting.
Self-defense, a counterattack.
Okay.
So,
By
the
definition.
beauty of Tai Chi is that softness overpowers hardness. You know, yielding is more important than aggression.
Okay, that's
Right.
interesting.
So, like, just say, for example, if you were pulling on me, my natural tendency would be like, no, I want to
Right,
get
it's
away.
to yeah.
While your energy's going that way, Tai Chi says, do this and get out of there.
Oh, totally throws you off.
You felt
So
that
you
already
kinda
just
do-
in that.
And so I would think that because that's, like you said, not a natural tendency, if you practice Tai Chi, it kind of flows over into your life.
And another beautiful example of it, this first move you did, ball cat stance, we step, the hands almost touch, we shift forward. I mean, it looks all nice and pretty, right?
It does look all nice and pretty.
So if you had your right leg towards me
Okay.
and the right fist out, okay, as if you were going to punch me, first thing I do is get out of the way. So I step up, I have you blocked here. Here's my ball cat stance. I step,
That's the one we just
the
did.
foot's flat, I'm controlling your arm, and if I were to finish,
I'd be down.
you'd be there.
Okay, so
Okay.
there's a purpose
That is the
behind
fight
it.
part of Tai Chi.
Okay.
And again, Tai Chi incorporates breathing, okay, focusing on the internal organs. So each one of these moves helps various internal organs. Each one follows our breath. It would be, again, at your own pace, but breathe in, breathe out. There's a little transition in our breath, and we breathe in, step, breathe out.
And I find that to be the hardest part.
Breathing.
With movement, because that's not how I've been exercising,
Right.
say, my whole life.
Right. So Tai Chi, I like to call it the other aerobic workout, because even though we're not doing a 20 minutes of a sustained,
That's a good point.
it's absolutely conditioning for the heart.
We should.
And one of the absolute things I absolutely adore about Tai Chi, one of the many things, in the same class, I can have a student in their 80s or 90s and my teenagers, and we all can be doing the same thing and getting benefit. It's good for the professional athlete. I have students healing from hip replacements and knee replacements. So there are moves when we go down a little bit low. Well, the athlete can go all the
I could
way
never do that.
down and come up fast.
That is some major quad strength right there.
Exactly.
So then somebody else who's in your class who can't
just
do that.
go right there, and maybe they don't even have to pick their leg up. You know, they can just step through.
So it's all good.
All good.
It's all good.
All good.
Something for everybody.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So we should sit again and continue our discussion.
Okay. Love to.
Okay. I'm just going to leave my shoes on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Get comfortable. So the breathing, we call natural breathing when we breathe in and out through the nose. It is the way we breathed when we were infants, when we came out, okay?
And do you ever watch a baby breathe?
Well, I don't have any.
Well, I mean, they do breathe from here.
Belly
Their
breathing.
bellies go
Yes.
in and out. And I think, do you ever, well, you probably don't because you've been trained, but sometimes I catch myself breathing like almost
Right.
like I'm doing a workout and I'm just at work.
Yes.
You
Well,
know?
and there's a great discussion about this. It's a book called Body, Mind, and Sport by John Douillard. And he talks about why the majority of Americans don't like to exercise because they're... And when we breathe through the mouth, shallow chest and shoulder breathing,
Which
we
we
are
do.
engaging the sympathetic fight or flight mode. So when most of Americans are exercising,
Right.
it's like, where's the emergency?
Right.
If we
Oh,
would
that's
learn to
interesting.
breathe through the nose, it brings air into the lower regions of the lungs, which are more blood rich, and engages the parasympathetic rest and repose.
And I've
so
ne-
even
I've-
athletes could benefit.
And I've never thought about that because
Yes.
if you're doing aerobics or cardio kickboxing or everything we're doing, it is very like hard work.
Yes.
It's really hard work.
Yes.
And maybe that's it. Maybe we're working so hard during the day that we don't want to have to work hard. And that was something I noticed you said during the Tai Chi day. We're all going to get up and play Tai Chi. And I'm
Yes.
like, wow, I never
Yeah.
think
we use,
of my
we use that word.
exercise as play because
Yeah.
I'm going to work out. It's more work.
Exactly. Well, it is the Chinese word translates to the English word play, but the meaning is practice or study.
Okay.
So how awesome to just,
That you get to
let's go
play.
play Tai Chi. We
And
even say that
yet,
with our hard styles.
You said about the cardiovascular benefits, which I thought were very interesting because various people were saying that. And you also made the point where although you don't run, you could go out and run.
Right now, and I don't run. I mean, I did this with a guy I used to work with. I'm like, just curious how my martial arts training helps in that venue. We went out and ran 4 miles.
And it was no
I don't
problem
run.
for you.
No problems,
Because
no
you
issues.
are training your
no breathing.
cardiovascular system, but in a way that we wouldn't necessarily think about.
Exactly.
The way we typical Americans exercise. That is so
That's right.
interesting
Yeah.
that you could do that. And then when you also mentioned athletes, I saw you do the demonstration with the bricks. I mean, I
Yes.
can imagine. But so you can hold something to give more
Light weights if you want.
but you're
and go
still
through all these-
flowing, you're still
Right.
breathing, but you're giving yourself a little bit more resistance.
Because the moves of Tai Chi are so slow, and you have all the weight on one leg while you're bringing another leg in, and all of the control that's involved, it's a lot harder than doing some fast movement.
True.
So it is
True. Be
conditioning.
easier, I think easier on your joints too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, from my perspective, I encourage all my students to listen to their bodies, only go where they're comfortable. And what excites me is not how fast do they learn that sequence of movements. I
And
could
that
care
was simple.
less about
and
that.
I saw you guys do like a 10-minute sequence?
Yeah, not quite that
How
long,
do
but
you
yeah.
memorize all
Well,
that?
and again, body, mind, spirit. I mean, it helps the mind. We can build new brain neurons. And every time we're learning something new, plus the benefits of Tai Chi and martial arts, we do left side, right side stuff. So we're helping to integrate the left side of the brain and the right with the right side of the brain, you know, and we need both, and we all are both, which is actually the original meaning of the Tai Chi, and the Tai Chi symbol was the balancing of the yin and the yang and the duality that is present in everything in life.
I did see you do that when you were doing the whole sequence, and we'll have some pictures to show
Yes.
that everything you did on one side, then you did on the other side.
Yes.
And
Much
balance is important. I mean, if you just think just about being in balance and what that means for most Americans, we're a bit out of balance. And on that note, you made a good point about someone said, well, I can't do that move because I don't have any balance. And you said, no, you don't have any balance because...
We could do these moves.
Yeah.
I have students say, oh, I can't do Tai Chi, I can't balance.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's why you're doing Tai Chi.
So
and you know what excites me? Even that day, I had a gentleman in the front, and after the whole program's over, people were sitting in their little lawn chairs, you know.
Yes.
He came up to me afterwards, and he said, you know, the first time I got up, I was like, okay, you know, and he said, then you had us do some movement things, and then the next time I got up, I was like, oh, wow. And
Yeah.
it just got up so much easier.
Which, again,
That's
seems like a
what
little
excites
thing,
me.
but it's not.
Exactly.
It's really not.
It's the journey. It's not learning that sequence of movements. And it's the total package. It's not just exercise, but taking time to be still, to meditate, whatever meditation means to you.
Right.
You know me well enough. I don't sit still very well.
Right. This
So
is
for
good for
Tai
you.
Chi,
Yeah.
it's a moving meditation.
Right.
Once I've learned the moves, it definitely becomes a meditation practice. And the big thing, too, that I want to encourage people, there's studies out now, 50 to 70% of our healthcare costs are going to preventable diseases, cardiovascular,
Right.
diabetes.
And everyone's aware of that. We're aware of that.
It's
so,
in our control.
yes.
But it's just not maybe the immediate gratification that we're used to, but it's exercise and diet, exercise and choice of diet. I'm not into dieting, but what we
Right,
eat, that is our
right.
diet.
And then, so we're asking a whole group of people who now, many Americans are overweight, we've got type 2 diabetes, we've got high blood pressure, we've got cardiovascular disease, and now we're saying, okay, y'all go out and exercise.
Right.
And I think a lot of times it's like, well, I see what's available, I'm not sure I could even do that, but anybody could do,
Anybody can do
this.
Right.
Anybody. I mean, your oldest students are how old?
93.
93.
And I just recently started teaching this group. I didn't realize I have 3 ladies in their 90s. I would never have guessed it. And then I have a group of nuns I work with that are just an awesome inspiration to me. You know, in their 90s, I have a 99-year-old, one of my nuns, and we do a little exercise program with a little bit of light weights.
Right.
I have them standing, doing these Tai Chi kicks, you know, hanging on for balance, but building that leg strength. And 2 of them now have had different bone density tests, and this once-a-week class is the only difference in their regimen, and their bone density has increased.
That's
From
amazing.
doing this. From
I mean,
1
because
hour
again,
once a week.
it's not exactly 1 hour once a week, and they probably, I mean, they keep coming back for class. I
Yes.
mean, you've been teaching that one group for quite a while,
Right.
and they love it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
love it.
It's awesome.
So it's for everybody,
Yeah.
really. You
And
don't
again-
have to be super fit. Could be a way to get fit.
Exactly.
It could be a way to achieve balance. It could be just something you could integrate. And of course, you always tell people to consult with your physician.
Sure.
And now people will know more and more. I think people are knowing what it is to tell their doctor about it. Well, what is this Tai Chi? It's a martial art, and they might have something in mind that, like I did initially, which is so different than what it is, and more gentle, flowing. Yes. And I did take a class from you, and I thought it was so funny because there's all these healthcare people in the class. I'm like, yes, because we're all stressed out.
And everybody needs
We're not balanced. There was doctors and nurses and two pharmacists, I think.
That surprised me, that
Right,
group.
that was your healthcare class.
Yes.
And I thought, yes, we could do this.
Yes.
We need to do something relaxing for
Exactly.
ourselves.
And re-energizing, because like I said before, the moves are relaxing and they can be re-energizing depending on your intent. And one of the most awesome things is exactly that. In every class, such a variety of students. You know, whether it's teenagers, whether I've got computer techs, I've got doctors, nurses, professional moms, and everything in between, teachers. And one of my teachers uses Tai Chi moves with her class of second graders.
She told that story to just to help them.
They're bouncing off the walls. She'll say,
Qigong
breathing. And then the kids realize it helps them think more clearly. So before they take a test, they go in the back of the room, some of them on their own, not being prompted, and they do this breathing exercise, and then they're ready to go in and take their test.
Well, that's interesting when you say make them think. They've done studies, and they've presented them to us as pharmacists when you're really stressed out and the stress hormones kick in. It really does affect the way you think.
Yes.
And then when you think of your work, I think of my daily work and how busy the stores are and cranking out all these prescriptions, and the last thing I want is my ability to think to be compromised, because I think a mistake could be made. So even breathing properly could probably help tremendously through the day. Absolutely. I have visions of healthcare providers doing it, you know, and just doing something, for themselves, something self-caring, you know. What other ways do you think it would be good when we think about integration and with Eastern and Western kind of ways? You teach where? You teach in
downtown Akron.
What kind of facilities? Is it just in
downtown Akron? It's connected to SUMA. Okay. So we're on the City Hospital campus.
So they know about it. So that's like in the healthcare venue.
Absolutely.
Okay, so they know what this is. The
through
nurses,
SUMA.
The physicians. Okay, through SUMA. Okay.
Through SUMA, and it's not SUMA employees. They're public classes at City Hospital campus, down in their green location, and I'm also here in Hudson at the SUMA Wellness Institute. I also have my own class at the Fairlawn Community Center, and I relatively recently started one at Rocky Knoll. It's geared towards seniors, and I have a few students that are like my age that just wanted a daytime class. So again, my classes are open.
A lot of variety.
Yes.
And you teach. Yes. You teach all over, and any fitness level. And I love what you said one day. You said, "Oh, you know me. I love everybody. Everybody's welcome. It's very low pressure.
Yes.
It's accepting." I mean, the class I took, I felt very relaxed, and I think it's a great thing for people to think about when they need to start somewhere and just need to start moving and incorporating something to make their lives easier and more less stressful.
Yes.
Yes, we need that.
It's huge. And stretching, flexibility, because I'm a massage therapist, I want to incorporate those things too. So I teach people healing techniques. I teach them some acupuncture points for health maintenance and curing common ailments. We do a lot of stretching. We do some polarity energy exercises. So in my classes, I really believe my massage and my other healing modalities really help me as a teacher. And I know that my martial arts helps me as a massage therapist. I have had a couple clients on my table say, "It feels like you're playing Tai Chi on me."
And you probably are.
And I am.
You are.
Yeah, I am.
So you still do the massage.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. Well, this was great. I learned a lot. It was fun to do the Tai Chi. I feel very relaxed.
Good.
Maybe I'll teach my fellow pharmacists a little Tai Chi. We'll break up our day and
start
parting the horse's mane. Is that right?
Parting the wild horse's mane.
They'll absolutely love it.
There it is.
So thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate it.